Okay, in today's video, we're going to go through 3 steps to actually fucking look like you train. Because looking like you train is not genetics, not steroids, not training 6 days a week. It really can come down to planning, training, and a little bit of food stuff. Because most of the time you think that you have to live in the gym, you're living out of meal prep containers, you've got no social life, chicken and rice, bland chicken and rice, I should say, forever. Chicken and rice itself is not bad. The reality is, most of the time you've just got to do a few things exceptionally consistent. Keyword there, exceptionally consistent, if you really want to break out and look like you train. If you just want to look okay, being consistent is fine, but you're not here for that. The problem isn't really that complicated. It's just you just have never actually planned out the reason as to why we don't look like you train. So this is step one, is we want to look at a plan. We want to look at a goal, some milestones along the way, and really what that outcome is. Your goal is, I want to look like I train. Some milestones would be adding 5 kilograms of muscle, training for 1 to 3 years consistently, and getting some new PBs. Because then your outcome would be, some guys are going to ask if you're fucking natty or not. Because this is where you can sort of become unstuck. Is you can fail before you even start because you've got no deadline, no target. How long is this going to take? 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month? I just want to get into shape is not a goal. It's just wishful thinking. We really want to look at this and go, what are some things coming up in the next, preferably 6 months to a year? A holiday, a photo shoot if you really want to push yourself. Wedding, you want to look sort of jacked for high rocks, which is kind of gay, or just generally looking good for summer. That's a good year goal as well. Anything that has a date attached is going to be good. Because how your brain works, it really hates uncertainty. It wants to be told little milestones, get those little dopamine hits and feel like we're getting progress here. Similar to Call of Duty, right? The reason why Call of Duty is addictive is you don't get that final reward of level 99 or whatever it goes up to now. I've lost track. But you get level ups, you get weapon unlocks, you get achievement badges, you get small wins, constant feedback. I killed this guy. He was in the lead. I'm now second. I'm now this. Constantly fed new things because the levels from that game are important to look like how you sort of gamify your own progress. Level 1 is you get a coach. Level 5, your friends start to notice the gains. Level 10, your training and diet are now just habitual. They just happen, regardless of what chaos is happening. And level 20, and why it's level 20 is because it takes a long time, is you actually start to notice your own progress. That's massive. Your physique goals should work exactly the same way. If your reward is 6 months away, you check out. You're like, well, fuck, it's ages away. Most people's measurement of time is completely false, but if we have checkpoints along the way, that time goes really quickly and the results come really quickly, and it creates accountability for you to reach your final goal. Step 2 is training. Most programs fail because they do not fit the reality of your life that's already full. You have all this stuff in this bucket constantly pushing you. Stress, life, kids, business, work, family. It's full. It takes up all of that. And now all of a sudden you've got to start training. You've only got this little bit. It can't be this massive overburdening thing of trying to spend hours in the gym, training 5-6 days a week, and overall thinking that that's how the life needs to be. Because the best program isn't the perfect one. It's the one that you can actually do no matter what is happening. Because ultimately, can you train 5 to 6 days? Sure, if you can, awesome. If you're a fucking bum online coach like me, you definitely can. And you'll get great results. But most of the guys I coach, 3 to 4 sessions, 60 to 90 minutes. They're done.
Just sort of jump in here and say, can you really be bothered doing all of this? Seriously, you're watching this video, watching my fucking gay cunt face yap at all of this stuff, and, you could already be making progress. So, and you're just sick of, trying to figure out, what your body needs. Well, there's a link in the description to book a call with me, and we can just do this even faster all together and just get started straight away. So anyway, where was I?
Because the science of muscle growth is really quite simple, and it doesn't require a lot of work. It requires hard work and effort in the gym. We start with mechanical tension, which is training close to failure. That sends a growth signal to your brain, and then new muscle is produced. Your muscles have these sensors inside of them. When muscle is forced to produce high levels of force repeatedly, those sensors detect it. And then it asks your body, do I need to add more muscle to handle this next time? It goes, yes, and starts building. So that's where we got here. Muscle, a tension sensor, it's told by hard training to build that muscle. Because the biggest driver of hypertrophy, so building muscle, is mechanical tension, Not soreness, not sweat, not being exhausted, not doing 20 exercises, not drop sets, not supersets, not whatever the fucking thing that the bro mate has told you to do. It is training close to failure, which is here. So RIR stands for reps in reserve from failure. So you're 5 reps away. Not really that good. 4 reps, okay. 3 is good to restart of the training block. 2's really good. 1's really good. And failure. Now, failure doesn't mean going until you just can't do any more. It's still keeping good technique and focus and allowing the muscle to sort of, I always say the saying, if it's not slowing, it ain't growing. So it means that last rep is nice and slow, and we're aiming for that 0 to 2. Here's a really good sort of study that sort of showcases this. So they took some trained individuals, and these dots here is where they grew muscle on the side here. And look where it is, 0. 0 to 2, 0 to 4, we can see it starts to drop off. And then once you get past that, it really actually does fucking nothing. It does something, but not as efficient as if you're training in this zone here. Because this is where the high threshold muscle units are being recruited. And when you train those to failure, you get the greatest fucking results. Because, I'm a big fan of Dorian Yates, and he sort of brought in this low volume, high intensity stuff and won, what did he win, 8 Olympias or whatever doing it. 1 hard set taken close to failure can be worth more than 3 lazy sets. So as you get more proficient in the gym, you actually need less. But this doesn't mean it's a cop-out. It means you have to still train very fucking hard. Because more is not better. The internet has convinced everyone, more sets, more growth. Not true. That's only true with work. You work more, you potentially earn more. It does not work with training, unfortunately. Volume is only useful if the intensity stays high. So volume's like how many exercises you do, the sets. If you're doing, 8 or 20 exercises in a session, I guarantee that probably the first 2 are only the 2 effective throughout that set. The rest starts to accumulate fatigue. Step 3 is food. And this is where everyone expects me to go. We need to overhaul everything. We need to look at everything. We need to put everything under a microscope. We need to eat all the fancy things and the high protein and blah, blah, blah. In reality, I say change nothing. Because we first need to look exactly what you're already eating. Because if I don't know where you are, I can't tell you where to go. And that should be the example that you use as well. Because we want to look at track first and change second. Because if you're tracking and all of a sudden, you're like, oh, I'm eating heaps. And in most cases, it's never is. It's like 1,800 calories. Well, we need to change something here. We need to increase the protein, increase the carbohydrates. We need to change something. But if you track and you go, oh, I'm actually eating, this amount of calories, but the macros don't look good. Well, it's just a matter of organizing the macros. Track first, change second. Protein, number 1. This is the number 1 thing most guys underconsume, and it's the single most important macronutrient for building muscle. Most people know that who will come here, but again, reiteration of the basics is my goal. Protein provides amino acids. These amino acids are raw materials, and they repair all the stuff that you do in the gym. Anywhere between 1.6 to 2.2 kilograms of body weight. Depends on how financially secure you are as far as eating that much protein. Because I've eaten even less than that, like 0.8, and I've still grown. So it really does depend on a lot of factors. The main thing is how hard you're training. How high is that signal that's sending to build the materials with the protein? And then you get the muscle growth. Training tells the body to build. Protein is the bricks. So these are the 3 things that I just want you to focus on if you want to look like you train. You need to plan it. You need to train exceptionally fucking hard, consistently, and the same goes with your food. Simple, tasty, repeatable meals, and then you will start to really look like you train, giving yourself the time. Now, if this is something that you want to really pursue and get the most out of, I can highly recommend getting a coach. Luckily, I'm a coach. I've put a link in the description for booking a call. It'd be great to speak with you about your goals and where you want to go and where you want to take it to the next level. So please reach out and book that call, and I'll speak to you on the call.